welcome back to Get Sassy. Well, this is the final and last day, 3 days of beautifying. How many times have you guys found yourself in this chair? If we could bring this chair with us back home, we wouldn't have to go to the salon. But of course, we'd have to drag that person with us that does all those great things to us, making us beautiful. As you know, the last 2 days we've been working on Lisa and showing some great techniques about how to do some very simple methods on kind of making her palette very clean, something that she can use whether day or night, and it's a self-esteem boost for the most part. And today we're going to learn about something I love doing, and that's hair. We're going to talk about some great natural looks. We're going to talk about some of the newer products and why they're better today. And of course, I want to talk about the oil products and hair, making it sheen, because I know that's a lot of, we're talking about a lot right now on news and fashion, all the magazines. There's a lot of great things that are flying around out there, but the proper usage, guys, we end up using too much. I can speak for myself. I generally use so much and make my hair look greasy about 3 days into it. So anyway, it does build up in the hair a little bit, and we will talk about that when we're meeting with Melissa from Bella Rouge. So with that being said, I'm going to be back in 5. We're going to have Lisa sitting in this chair instead of myself. I'm jealous. And you guys are going to see some more magic. So I'll be right back.
You would not believe the motherload I just dropped. And that's how I like to keep it, leaving not a trace that I was ever here, let alone that I just birthed a creamy behemoth from my cavernous bowels. Nothing is worse than stinking up the shared toilet at work, or the toilet at a party, or your lover's apartment. Of course, flushing removes the graphic evidence. Maybe 2 or 3 flushes if your skid marks are as tenacious as mine. But what can be done of that subtle scent of a 300-cow dairy farm? Aerosol air fresheners aren't the most effective option, or the healthiest. Trying to mask the stench, giving you a nice blend of ChemLab carnations with just a touch of feces. So, how do you make the world believe your poop doesn't stink? Or in fact that you never poop at all? Poopery. Poopery is the before-you-go toilet spray that is proven to trap those embarrassing odours at the source and save relationships. Simply spritz poopery in the bowl to create a film on the water's surface that actually traps the odours in their porcelain prison. And when your little astronauts splash down and make contact with the film, they release poopery's pleasant aromas, so all those around you can smell as a refreshing bouquet of essential oils. Yes, it is a real product. And yes, it really works. We've sold over 4 million bottles. On Amazon alone, there are over 1,000 reviews rating it 4.8 of 5 stars. That's a better Amazon rating than the iPhone 5. If it doesn't completely stop your stench from spreading, send it back for a full refund. Our unconditional stink-free guarantee. If your poo stinks, click here to get your poopery today at poopery.com. So whether you need to pinch a loaf at work, cut a rope at a party, or lay a brick at your boyfriend's, your days of embarrassing smells or prairie dogging it are over. Poopery. Our business is to make it smell like your business never even happened.
Welcome back. I told you it would only be 5 seconds. I am excited. This is day 3 of the transformation. This is where we get to see everything put together. Obviously, you guys saw 2 days of technique, and the reason why I stretched it out was to kind of give you an idea in slow motion. So for those of you who are doing DVR, you can kind of look and see exact steps. It's very easy. Just remember, use that paintbrush. I like that tool. It's actually a really good idea some of the tips that we talked about were trying to hide some of the blemishes and things that are what we call imperfections per se, or blemishes, and how quickly we can remove them without caking on a ton of makeup. When we put on a ton of makeup, we don't look very good. We kind of look like the bad side of Pretty Woman, the movie, so we don't want to go down that road. I have to stay away from the word slut. I just said that again. I did say that. Whatever. We're not going to rewind that tape. We're going to keep going. Anyway, today we're here with Melissa. We are going to talk about a couple of different things to do with Lisa. Lisa does have naturally curly hair, and that seems to be a pretty big issue out here on the East Coast, and of course in other places, but we're going to go through some techniques. We're going to learn something about the Baba
Babasu.
Babasu. If we could say this by the end of the show, I think we'll be in good business there. And of course, how much oil? How much is too much? Because we're all guilty of it, including myself. I look like I walked out of grease pit most of the times when I put it on, and I'm a trained cosmetologist, so that doesn't really say very much for my skill set. But Melissa is much better at this, so we are going to go through. The makeup looks fabulous. This is the last portion. We're going to do a before and after with photos at the end, you guys. You really are going to see a true transformation. Again, this is very easy. So for those of you who want to review it again, please remember we got 2 days full of makeup. We talked about a lot of great things for those of you, tons of different problems you might have. And again, you can make this work. It just takes time and it takes practice. And remember, practice makes perfect, and perfect doesn't exist. But if it looks good to you, then that's all that matters. That being said, Melissa, welcome.
Thank you, Samantha.
We're here for the final day.
Yes, this is exciting.
So walk us through here. We just had Lisa. They did a great transformation. She's got a daytime look and everyday look. Obviously, we can tell here,
Yes.
Lisa's got wavy and curly hair.
Yes.
She has a hard hair to work with.
Yes.
So she's got thin hair, but she's also got, you know, very curly hair, which can become frizzy
Yes.
if it's combed down and not properly managed. So I'm going to ask you, this is where you become the professional,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask a ton of questions, and you can tell me to shut up if I ask too many. But I want to learn about this because, again, these are things that people ask for on a daily basis. You read it in the magazines, and having somebody actually walk you through is really, I look at this experience with you as instruction and video,
Yes.
where people will be able to go back and see how to do this. So, Lisa, this is your time. Let's talk about Lisa. Based on the makeup that you had with her today, she comes here, she has her makeup done,
Yes.
and she says, you know what, Melissa, I need to do something with my hair. It's frizzy, I've combed out the curls, why is it, I have dullness, how can I make it look like it all comes together? Can you walk me through what
Sure.
we're going to be doing here today, and telling people about the oils and the
Absolutely.
Babasu and where it comes from, which again I still can't pronounce. Walk us through it.
Okay, so for Lisa, if she came in today for the first time and she was going, most of the clients that come into the studio are going out somewhere. So they need to have a quick fix.
Do you generally find people usually come to the salon for either maintenance or going somewhere?
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Because they're going to events. So they want to come in, they want to look beautified, and they want to go out there and do a quick fix for them so that they can look beautiful for their event. If they weren't going somewhere specific, what I would suggest for Lisa to do is to come in and get one of the treatment's smoothing systems.
Okay.
Because
is that the keratin?
It's the keratin. Yes, there's many different kinds.
And is that safe for the hair? And can you explain to the viewers
Sure.
which ones are not safe, which ones are safe?
Sure. I'm going to be very careful with this because I
Okay.
don't want to cause any problems with any of the companies.
Just a general,
Okay,
just a
so
budget.
for instance, the ones that do have formaldehyde, I would
Damaging.
stay away from.
Yeah.
Not a good
Nails
thing.
too, guys.
Yes, formaldehyde is not
OPI
a good
says
thing
no
for your hair.
formaldehyde.
Some of the companies claim to have a derivative of that is safe. I like to test it on my clients first and myself for then the clients to see what they're experiencing, and it's safe. I know what so when they do the maintenance, a lot of times if they do an express, it takes about an hour or so for them to get done.
Okay.
It's not a complete straightening system, but what it does is it helps to eliminate the frizz in their hair.
Which is something that
helps a
she
lot for
would
Lisa,
like to be able to get up without worry,
especially
right?
If Lisa, if you
During
come,
the summer, it's the worst.
Yeah.
'cause
Humidity.
It's the humidity that kills me.
and the hair grows, and that's most of the problem. A lot of times people want to keep their curl,
Yeah.
but they want to get rid of the frizz because the humidity helps, it makes it to grow. So something like this, a treatment that would be an express, would be something that I would suggest to introduce to you. Because it's not to the extreme of straightening it, you still can keep some of the curl, you would eliminate the frizz, and it would help you in the morning because it cuts down on the drying time. So it would definitely help to maintain what you have without going crazy and having to do anything. You could let it air dry if you needed to.
No,
That's what I
I,
would usually do during the summer.
So
Yeah,
you've
so-
seen it beneficial?
Well, that would keep my curl,
Yes.
but again, it would keep my curl, and I wouldn't blow dry. I wouldn't do anything to straighten. Nothing. I just I leave it natural, pretty
then
much.
it was
and I
very
slick,
good for
or
you.
I slick it back, one or the other. You know, because I
Sure.
can't really do anything. It's just too frizzy.
So what I would
So-
suggest is definitely adding product to that as well,
Yeah.
because people are afraid of product, like you said, because sometimes
They
what
don't know what
happens
to
is
use.
they don't know how much
I
to
just know
use. And which ones to use, which one's good for
but
you.
which one is good? That's
Right,
the problem.
I have so much Redken in the house, and it's like, okay. well,
And ladies, that's actually a really good point. There are many different hairlines out there. I've been in the hair industry, professional hair and beauty for 25 plus years. Not every product line has everything you need.
Right.
There are certain products out of different lines. So maybe Redken has one or two products, and TG, Tony and Guy, has another product. Or Goldwell has a really good shampoo and conditioner for highlights. Again, there's nothing wrong with mixing and matching, and a lot of salons today, they're not concept salons. So they are getting a bunch of different things to use so that you can mix and match. Remember, it may not work well for you with certain things. You've got to keep an open mind. And again, less is more. So I'm going to let you
Sure.
go about finishing. I do have one question
Sure.
for you. For Lisa, since obviously we don't have much time today to speak about this, but for a color, based on the makeup she has and based on her skin tone, what would be a good color for her to bring out some warmth? Because the color she is now, it's winter, and we all are a little bit washed out right
Sure.
now. So what would you suggest during this time of year to give somebody some warmth, add those yellow tones back in, and something that looks natural, not something that looks like it's being tried too hard?
Sure. For Lisa, maybe I would even introduce a glaze first, because that would kind of tone down a little bit.
And shine.
And give a tremendous amount of shine.
And
Absolutely.
coloring your hair actually makes your hair better.
Yes.
If you're going with a color that has no ammonia, every bit of color has a small percentage of ammonia. If you're really curious with your stylist, it should be less than 2%.
Yes.
You should ask about that. I'm not going to mention any names, but I think we know the over-the-counter and some of the brands that have been along for a long time. They do use them in the salons, and they have a lot of ammonia in there. And you add peroxide on top of that, and foo-la, boom, electric shock hairdo. We don't want to do that. So today we're going to go through some of that. So talk to us today about what we're going to do for Lisa.
Okay.
We're going to actually get ready to go in for a commercial break, but I want to get at least a quick rundown
Okay.
before we do that. So today's hairstyle for Lisa, what are we going to do?
Okay. So what I would say is I would look at Lisa, I would look feel her hair, I would feel the texture of her hair. It is definitely very coarse and over-processed.
Is it too dry?
So it's dry.
Okay.
So we would definitely need to add moisture to her hair.
Okay. Quick fix for adding moisture. Say it in 3 seconds.
Okay, a mask.
Fabulous.
And oil. Basu oil, Basu oil,
Mask
Basu
first,
oil.
wash out, then Bastu oil?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yes.
How long does the Bastu oil stay in? How many days can it stay in your hair without being overly greasy?
My hair probably one day because my hair gets really
If it's
greasy
heavy,
fast.
right? Okay.
Yes.
But how about someone like Lisa who
She could
comes
go a
out?
couple days. Some people have even gone a week. I wouldn't say that because
That's okay. Well, it's okay.
But it's true.
It,
They
yeah.
don't want to say they've not washed their hair in a week, but it can happen.
As when you
And
get older, you
sometimes
don't
the-
need to do it every day.
But exactly, and the more that
But
you
I
don't,
get so sweaty during the
True.
day that I.
But if you
at the end
wash
of my
it so
shift and
much-
stuff,
yeah.
But if you wash your hair too much and feeling sweaty, you can always wet it down You just don't need to use a surfactant. In fact, in the
And dry
shower,
shampoo.
yes, dry shampoo is perfect. It's basically, there's something of talc. They studied
it's like
talc.
without-
Cornstarch is also something very easy. In fact, a lot of people are putting it inside just water bottles and cornstarch and spraying it,
Just spray it.
not the aerosol, but a non-aerosol. And it does absorb. Even baby powder is good to keep in your purse with a cornstarch in it. Well, these bottles are about this big. You put it on your brush, you put it lightly on there, you flip it up, your little hairspray, you do it at the roots. It doesn't look so bad. And baby powder does absorb rather quickly. So if you ever find yourself in that, I don't know if that's a tool you guys use
Yeah,
here, but
that's
some
good.
people got
That's a good
used for
tip.
the years. Anyway, so Lisa, today, are you looking for straight hair, or are you looking to see what your hair looks like curly?
I don't know.
Take a pic. Take a pic. Take a pic.
I don't know. I want to look different.
Different. So what's different for you?
So-
Would that be straight?
What? Straight is. I mean, my hair's been straight because that's what I've been doing all
But it's-
winter long.
But your hair right now, it does have some damage. So being straight, it's not really straight. It's frizzy and it's straight. So when I say straight, I mean Melissa straight.
What we can do is we can blow dry your hair, add some products to make it smooth.
Okay.
And you'll have a very smooth. And what I like to do, especially if you're going out somewhere, you have the option of curling it in areas so that it has a little flow to it. So
Body.
for you, you wouldn't have a completely straight hair because that wouldn't do anything for you. So you need to
Right.
have a little bit of a movement to it.
Okay.
But we could accomplish that through a nice smooth blowout.
Good.
And even maybe adding the curling iron at the end.
Awesome. Okay, so here we're going to go into a commercial break.
That sounds like
We're going to get Lisa prepped.
Okay.
While you guys do your thing,
Yes.
we're going to go for some commercials. We'll be back for day 3. This is awesome. And we'll see you guys in 5. Hi guys, welcome back to Get Sassy. We're sitting here with our 3rd day working with some beautiful transformations, and what we'd like to show you now is for those of you with curly hair, frizzy hair. This is a very different technique showing you that you have to divide, I know, right? She's crazy, woo! Showing that you have to divide up the hair in different segments or sections rather, I can't even talk today, to ensure that when you're trying to give it a nice curl or a nice blowout, that you're focusing on little pieces. And ladies, not half your head in a big barrel curling iron. That doesn't take care of it. You actually have to section it. And sometimes, if you take the time just once doing it in this fashion, you'll find that it lasts longer throughout the week. And then you can refresh it with a dry shampoo, or a dry shampoo nearby. It's a cornstarch and a baby powder type of composition, just a little bit, so that it can absorb any excess oil if you guys tend to have that. For those who are on the side of a little bit frizzy, that's where you got to be a little bit careful. But I'm going to go ahead and let Melissa talk us through some of this, and you guys will learn some more tips at home.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Samantha. Obviously, this is a little complicated for someone to do at home, but like Samantha said, it may be nice to try it one time because it does help to have control. What I'm going to do is I'm going to blow dry your hair and then roll some of it and clip it with those clips. What that helps to do is act as rollers, so that way if you want a little bit of volume in different areas, it cools into the position that that roll is in, and then it helps to be smooth and helps to give a little bit more volume. I'm not going to do that for your whole head because you don't want to look like you have a helmet head. but I probably will do it for top parts of your head,
No,
like maybe
'cause I
the
will
top.
have
Help my head picture.
That wouldn't be good. So what we're gonna do it. Make sure the key to blow drying hair that not a lot of people have patience for is to get it at your root. Because once you get it at your root, especially with curly hair, the curly hair, if you don't get it at the root, then it's going to, the curling pattern, that S pattern, is not going to lay flat. So if you get it at your root and it happens to go outside and have the humidity, you're not going to have as many of that like S pattern going on. So definitely get it at your
Now
root.
you sprayed something on here.
Yes.
That that we didn't show,
Okay.
and I believe it
So,
was this part.
yes.
So is this a form of like keratin protein? Is it what exactly?
Actually,
is it?
GK does have a lot of the keratin that goes in your hair. So
Okay.
this is very good for your hair for putting keratin back into it. This one is a volumizer to get a little bit more volume at your root, because even though curly hair does have texture and does help to give volume, because that's just the texture of their nature versus straight and flat hair, I wanted to add just a tiny bit at your root because it also does help to condition. And of course, this is what we keep talking about, is the wonderful basu oil.
Babasu?
You're right, it's from the nut of a babasu plant from Chile.
So guys,
Oh,
the
It's
Moroccan
wonderful.
oil is gone.
So I just
and
have
the
to.
babasu seed or nut is better and not heavy.
It's not heavy. I love it better than some of the competitors.
That's
you
out.
don't need
so
a lot
that's
of it.
not.
Looks
So
nice.
that's not the
Look at
thing
this.
now anymore.
It is still out there,
Moroccan
but
oil?
this one seems a lot lighter.
It's very light. It's not as thick as the Moroccan oil.
Put on like this.
If you have access,
Ladies, don't do this.
don't do that. What's the thing? You want to go to underneath here, because if you have a lot in your hands and you go underneath your
nice.
hair,
Right.
it helps to get
It
all the
smells
excess
pretty.
here. It smells great, and you have some on your hand.
You guys,
can
this
also
is
use
really
it on your
nice.
skin, so it helps to give a
Ooh.
nice shine and conditioning and
Like
feel
a
it.
moisturization on
It's
top
not
of it.
tacky. Can you feel it's not tacky? It's
No,
not heavy.
it just
it's
went right
very,
through my
very
skin.
light.
Can people use this on their face too?
Yes. People have used it,
Very
especially
lightly.
on as
Look
a
at this.
toner on
It
eczema
is.
and redness
Look at
too,
this.
to help. Yeah.
Oh,
It is.
Actually,
Yeah.
like
Can you see it?
over here
Yeah, I
on the
do.
knuckles,
I
I
do.
get
See the
dry
difference?
skins on my knuckles.
Absolutely.
so
This is a wonderful product.
I love
it's not
this.
too heavy. It's great for your hair. So anyway, we can do the blowout if you
Okay,
want.
guys, it's going to be a little bit of noise.
I mean,
It's construction.
here, I'll take this one out too. All
Come
right.
on, turn that way and turn right here.
If you go into the four corners, if you start by going to the top, like northeast, south, and west. Here,
So kind of a north,
east,
east,
south, and west.
south,
Yep.
west.
That helps to tackle all of the root.
Kind of like a Catholic church.
That helps to go all of the root.
How's it start up here, this down here, and that? How do you do that? This, and what's all this going on? Oh, there.
Now, would you be able to get me the Matsu? Matsu oil. Yeah. I'm gonna put a little bit on my hands.
Oh, see, that's nice.
Beautiful. And it helps to lay it down
Yeah, it does.
really nice. You want to make sure, especially with curly hair, because you have that kink of a curl that has to have that S pattern.
Ready.
We put a little bit of, you can put this in, we put this in a little bit on your wet hair, but if you just need a little bit, this stretches,
Just a little,
it goes
like
nice.
not like the tip of a pencil.
Yep. Putting a little bit through. Now watch the shine that you're going to get from this and how beautiful it is.
Oh, that is nice.
And how
Oh my
smooth.
gosh.
Can you see that?
I want to show the camera. Can you guys see this? This is wonderful. So this just gave a lot of texture, and oh, this is great. I can't wait to show the before and after when
Absolutely.
she's done, because this is really cool.
Sounds good.
This, so keep going. Let's see.
Okay.
Come on.
Rev it up. Right?
Okay.
And this really is not that difficult.
It's not.
This is round thermal brush. I've got an 1.5" thermal brush.
You could even go smaller if you want. Just depends on how much volume you want and what you're looking for.
But the ones with the holes in it are the best because it retains heat. It retains heat. It also makes
Right.
natural shine because it's
Yes.
steaming. That's good too.
What I find
Makes
is
the product
helpful
work
too
faster.
sometimes it's hard for people to hold the brushes.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is I like to grab it in my hands and hold it.
Nice firm,
Sometimes
yeah.
it's helpful for you, especially when you do it to yourself, to hold it with your hands and your finger back there.
Right.
Because sometimes people, they have the brush and the brush is like all over the place.
Yeah,
So if you
yeah.
have control and you can hold it with your finger, it helps
You
hold
can
a
tell
little
someone's
better.
having a bad hair day when their brush is so stuck in their hair. It's like,
Yeah.
I gotta cut this out.
Right. Now with blowouts, you can do many different things. So for instance, if I wanted to grab this and twist it, I can add a little bit of a curl to it. Can you see that, Samantha?
Oh, wow.
Now I'm not going to have her hair this full.
Sure.
But by twisting it, there's, especially with it being longer, you can kind of twirl it into
Someone's due for
yeah.
a color. Next
so much
show,
you can do.
right? You guys, we're gonna go in for a commercial break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna let Melissa finish up with Lisa and get ready for the reveal. I'll see you guys back in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Hi guys, welcome back to Get Sassy. Well, I know you guys are ready. It's been 3 days of primping and changing and very, very just minimal changes and such a remarkable transformation. I'm really excited. There's going to be a picture of Lisa on our screen. This is her before picture, and of course I am proud to present the new Lisa. Da, 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 da. I love this stuff. I'm excited. Lisa, the new Lisa. Woohoo! Fabulous. How's this for before and after? This is fabulous. Turn around, strut your stuff, woman. This is amazing. With the girls at Bella Rouge in Morristown did it again. Thank you very much. Fabulous. Do a little model shot for the camera. So we do on Get Sassy. For you guys, we'll have this in our credits on how you can look as fabulous as Lisa by contacting the girls at Bella Rouge in Morristown, and you'll have a fabulous experience. We thank you for spending the last 3 days with us, and we'll see you tomorrow night as always at 10 o'clock. Have a good evening.